Mercedes Sprinter speakers, the door speakers, which, if you see the size of this magnet on here, they're really tiny, and I actually blew these speakers. So, like, look at this, look at that magnet on this tweeter. So we're going to replace it with these Pioneer Premier two-way speakers. So already you can see the size of that magnet compared to the stock. We're going to use this existing speaker because it has the factory holes to go in, and we're going to use this speaker as a bracket to put this speaker in, and this speaker will screw in to the border of this. So now we got these screwed on, 4 screws, that's on there. First things first, I want to take off this little door panel container. We're going to want to take off this cover here, just using a little pry it out. Okay, start that off. And we got 2 of these. Then we want to take this cover off. With the torque bit, there's one in here. One in here. That's 2. We have 3. 4. 5. 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we could go ahead and pry this door off from its clips. So the door off of its clips, you have to release this from here, pull this off. So that takes that part off, and these clips for the window just come out. Now the whole door panel can be removed. We're gonna want to remove these remaining clips, and if they're still good, we're gonna save them. Some of them might break off, but you can buy inexpensive ones off Amazon. I'll see if I can put the link in the description. And then you can disconnect the speaker wire, and we're going to take off the speaker with the Torx bits. To get access to this tweeter, take off this A-pillar, and then we have access to 1 Torx bit and 2 Torx bits. Okay, so with this Torx bit removed and this one right here, now we can go ahead and push this tweeter out. So if you just push down, it will pop out. You can disconnect it with the clip to get the tweeter out. Okay, so we're going to replace these Mercedes Sprinter speakers, the door speakers, which, You see the size of this magnet on here. They're really tiny, and I actually blew these speakers. So, like, look at this. Look at that magnet on this tweeter. So we're gonna replace it with these Pioneer Premier two-way speakers. So already you can see the size of that magnet compared to the stock. These are 180 watt max two-way speakers. So this is the sub, and these are the tweeters. And this is the crossover. Which the speakers from the stock speaker wire will go into the amplifier. This will go to the woofer. And these leads are for the tweeter. We're going to use this existing speaker because it has the factory holes to go in. And we're going to use this speaker as a bracket to put this speaker in. And this speaker will screw in to the border of this. So by using this, we won't have to buy another bracket. You can already see the comparison of the magnets on the two. So these speakers already blew them, so they're basically garbage. So we're going to use the Dremel and with a little cutting blade, and we're going to cut right here on 5 of these sides. And we're going to actually use this existing wire to connect to our other speakers here. And then from here we can use the factory clip and connect the wires that come off of this. So we'll cut this right at the base where it touches the speaker, so we have wire left over to attach to the new speaker. So we can fold these up. Okay. And now with an X-Acto knife, we're going to cut the rim of the speaker. Okay, and now with the Dremel, we're going to cut each piece. Okay, now that speaker comes out, we can clean this up a bit more. And now we have a bracket to put this speaker in. So it's a perfect bracket to put our speaker in. And what we'll do is we'll be lining these speaker wires up with this and soldering these onto here. Okay, so with this lined up like this, we're going to flip it around, and with a marker we're going to mark off where we need to drill the holes for the screws to go in. So with the 4 screws that were provided, we can put the screws in here to hold the speaker off. But first, we got to drill holes to where the speaker will sit. You want to do it right at the edge, the furthest edge of the rim. Now we can place the speaker over and get our screws in. And there we have a factory mount for the speaker that will go right into the factory holes. And now for the back, and we're going to solder and point these up. We're going to solder these speaker leads to the base of the speaker. So now we have our soldered leads onto the speaker. Now we can go ahead and put this speaker back into the door. Okay, so here's our speaker lead. Our factory speaker lead that's coming from the deck to the speaker. And on the passenger door, the brown and orange is the positive wire. For the driver's side door, the brown and violet is the positive. So we're on the passenger door, we'll be using the brown and orange as our positive. So when we put this in, we want to make sure that over here it says positive. So we're going to match up the positive with the positive and the negative with the negative. So now we got these screwed on. 4 screws. That's on there. So now we're going to need to hook up this passive crossover. So we're going to take the wire that comes from the deck into the speaker. That's going to go into the amplifier. Then we're going to have speaker wires coming from the crossover to the woofer, which will go back into here. And then we'll have a wire from the tweeter over here go up and inside into the tweeter on the top of the dash. So what we'll need to do is cut this wire for the woofer. And then we'll trim these 2 leads. And we'll mount this over here. So I already have some Velcro taped on here. And that will go right there. And then when we go to the tweeter, we're going to go in through here. So our orange is the positive, and we'll go into the positive lead, and our blue is the negative. So we'll need some extra speaker wire. Okay, now with our extra speaker wire, we're going to make some of these shrink sleeves. I'll put these shrink sleeves on. And remember, our positive is the orange. And then we will heat that up. Okay, now this will go into the woofer leads. Okay, now we're gonna hook up the tweeter leads up to the tweeter. So we're gonna take our extra speaker wire and we're gonna have to fish it through this hole, up this rubber hose into that hole. So first to take this off, this just pulls off, and we're gonna fish this wire up. We're gonna come through here with our fish wire. I'm gonna be using some old electrical cable. We're gonna fish it up through this hole and up into the side up here. Okay, so we're gonna put our tweeter, we're gonna put our wire through the existing hole, and then we're gonna take this wire, we're gonna connect some more speaker wire to it, run it to our fishing line, and fish it down to the back to the door, to the crossover. So now we'll go from the tweeter into the crossover, with the negative going in the negative and the positive going into the positive. So while I have the door panel off, this is the last part of the whole van that needs to be insulated in the door panels. I knew I was going to change the speakers, so I waited till I had to do that to slap the rest of the 3M in here. So this is the 3M Thinsulate. I think it's SM600, 3M Thinsulate, and this is the insulation that's all inside the van. So I'm going to use some 3M contact 90 contact adhesive, and I'm going to spray it on here, cut a piece, and put it all over there, so the inside of this door will be insulated. You get a good pair of quality scissors. Put some holes for these two bolts to go through.